Hello, it's Mark, and I've got another video on some stocks I'm watching and the overall market and kind of stuff I'm seeing in my charts. I've been watching the regional bank ETF KRE pretty regularly. I've been watching it ever since it broke out of that trading range, and it's coming back down to that support that's going to be what was former resistance, and now it's possibly becoming support. But this gap down was pretty big today, and I think a lot of people are speculating the Fed's gonna keep raising rates, and we'll see. I don't understand why they paused earlier. They paused before, which didn't make any sense to me with the strength of the economy. And because if they really want to get inflation down, they wouldn't pause. But that's just my thinking. But who knows what? They're usually they're just kind of behind the ball on the data because it's just lagging, you know. But anyway, so KRE is coming back down to this huge level here. If it breaks down below this, that's not good. I mean, it still has an uptrend, and that would peg it at 44, 43 at the top. 40, probably 43 something would be a good test, a good support trend line test. The way I look at these charts with trend lines, because I've just developed that over time. I never really used moving averages like some people would use them, but the traders that I saw in the past that were consistent would just draw trend lines, and the moving average essentially emulates the trend line in a way too. But anyway, the trend lines I find to be really helpful, even on intraday charts. I think that's what the algorithms look at too. But sometimes it's just the nature of the market forces. But there's always pullbacks and trends, and how far they pull back is sort of always the question. But this could be a pullback. I mean, like I was saying, it's got trend support till the 43s, but the KRE I've been saying is just the thing to watch for, and these regional banks are the only possible crack that I see with the rates being high. I mean, the rest of the economy is great. You know, consumer spending is great. I mean, GDP is forecasted to be even higher than we expected. The GDP revisions have been great. So, but the 400-pound gorilla is these banks' balance sheets with the rates going up, and just the nature of the yield curve. I mean, the yield curve does matter for banks, and some banks are never positioned perfectly, you know, and other banks are better. Some, of course, there's good and bad banks, but there seems to be the market was smelling out some weakness in the banks finally today. And I've been saying, I've been buying puts on KRE every time it would attempt to crack. I bought puts there, and I was early. So I've been wrong 2 times on it, but that's why I haven't been putting big positions. I just a few contracts here and there, but so I'm not gonna bet the farm on short the banks. That's kind of stupid, I think, at this point. But the setup is there for some of these, like I did buy puts today on VLY because it's one of the it was always one of the weakest ones during the panic and during that little mini panic we had in the spring. It was just so weak. It was one of the weakest performers after the Silicon Valley and First Republic, or when those events were happening. So I suspect if there's going to be continued weakness or even short sellers, they would rush onto this one. It took out a level there. Actually, yeah, today was the first day it took out that level, and it looks a lot like KRE, but I'm just playing it I'm just playing for a pullback to see if it gets below 9. Like I bought the $9 strikes just to keep the position small, and if I'm right, it's gonna test it the next couple weeks. It's gonna come down to 850 or so. I think it's pretty reasonable. I've kind of just kept a list of regional banks just on the back burner in case there's more of these regional bank panics. Even though we know that the market can go higher without the banks going higher, but it's just a trade that's there when it presents itself. So I'll probably have to think about. Well, I mean, the other ones were Zion. Zion's another possible one. I think they have a lot of commercial property. Pretty much, I think the ones that would probably struggle would be California and New York commercial property. But I put a list of so that's a level to watch there on Zion. I made a list of these commercial REITs too. I'm not 100% positive these are all commercial, but these are some of the ones that I found too that were in the possible weakness camp. KRC, it's coming down. VNO, I think that one's mostly commercial too. I'll have to double check on these if the financials stay weak, but Pac West, that's regional. This one's another REIT, property company REIT. It's kind of cracked some trend support there. That one's actually a pretty good gap down. That one's about 4%. The VLY, I think, was down 4% at one point today. Let's jump on to some other stuff here. The stocks that I was talking about in these videos, if you're watching these videos, they've done really well. The long biases, the long watches, like the RSI finally came through, and it's holding above this key level, which would be a bottom. Really good volume today too. That's good. That's pretty impressive. It had nice volume on that punch through that that resistance wall there. That's gonna be that puts it at a bottom. I mean, in the past it's kind of topped out here, but it seems to have some momentum here. So I still like it as a possible big gainer up to 7 or 8. I mean, it could go a lot more. It's down a lot over the past couple of years. The other one was the MITK, and a lot of people. I got a lot of likes on this one on Twitter. On Twitter, I posted the chart up back here. And I think it got like 7 likes or something, which is a lot for my account. So there's definitely a lot of people looking at this one. Another really nice breakout on volume. It gapped up and broke out on volume. And like I was telling you guys, I have a really good knack for finding these bull flags and triangles. Like I probably even, well, I'm pretty much the same. I've spent a lot of years looking at flags and short setups with supernovas, and the supernovas are tricky. They're trickier because you never know when they're gonna could squeeze or just go sideways. But so I guess if I think back to my I keep track of my trades in Traders Sync, and the expectancy of my bull flags and triangles are really good. And most of those were swing trades. Like intraday trading, I think actually adds a harder element to it. It's almost like you have to thread the needle even more, so because the setup's there, but then you have to get the intraday technicals right too. So the technicals on the daily charts are pretty clear cut for me, but I don't day trade anymore, but at least much. But if I do, it's just the Russell 2000 futures, but this one's a good one, really good one. It's actually, yeah, I was looking to see how much it's already up, but the fact that it held this key level too is good. It's another one of those long bases that are starting to move, and these kind of charts have been really steady. Like there's been a lot of opportunities in these charts with I think it's the fact that obviously the larger cap stocks have already had a lot of significant runs, so all the money's been chasing the big caps, and then these smaller stocks, there's areas where there are good ones too, but it takes a lot of, it's not easy to find them. It's easy to find semiconductors and Nvidia and stuff, but to find these darlings of the last couple cycles is harder. Like this one was a really good one back in I knew this one because I invested in it years ago. I think back in 2018 or something. Years ago, and I think I sold it during like COVID years, but it was a really good one a long time ago. You see here it went from, back in 2015, it went from like $3 to $9 in like in like 8 months or so. So it's a good start. It's a good company. And I looked at all the fundamentals too back then. Like I knew the fundamentals were sound, so that kind of makes it easier to recognize. So I think this one might be a dud. Well, I don't know. It's not really done that much today comparatively, but I don't know. I'd kind of rather trade like a base. This one just kind of goes sideways, but I'm not really looking to put on any more longs right now. We'll see how the Clove did. That's another one. Had a good move. Yeah, it's just a pullback. It's got trend support. It's about 135. Yeah, a lot of stocks were down today. That's why I think it's pretty telling the MITK and RSI were up today. And maybe that's a little bit of luck too, but I feel like I'm looking in the right place with these things. Let's look at some shorts. Well, let's go back to the major indices. The IWM it took out that key level that I was talking about on the trend support. You see how it touched his trend support? It touched it there, and then failed there. It really tried to make a move on was that Friday or Monday, but where it did that hammer. But I think the banks, because it's got a lot of banks in the index, so I think the banks are bringing it down. But it's just like all the other markets are selling off too. Like I've been looking at the international markets and emerging markets, and it's not a surprise that we're still going down too. So so it took out support there. See that line there? It took it out. It's actually still in the. I think it's gonna go down. It'll probably go down tomorrow too, or the next week, because it's at the top of that channel, right there. And it's been respecting that channel pretty well, even on a daily chart. It's been channeling really nice. So I think we go down to, we'll be at 187, 186. Probably this week, unless it's just really another bad day tomorrow. But I mean, it could be a surprise, but the technicals are really bearish right now still, especially that if it didn't want to hold that trend line. See, that trend line went back to May when it bottomed. I mean, it is common for trend lines to widen out in a move, but this still looks like a pullback. So we'll see what happens with that, but the indices I've been watching, I'm still watching China, and I like FXI as a representation, but the other good ones, MCHI, pretty similar. It's like more broad. I think it's a little bit more broad, but I think the FXI and this one are superior to the KWeb, because KWeb is, to my understanding, is mostly the internet and IT. So the problem in China now is the structural things, like their property and their and just their banks probably too. And what was it? There's one company that's in huge trouble. One of the property companies, it's having trouble with financing and stuff. Against country or so these traditional kind of like companies are pretty pretty bad shape. So we're finally getting closer to that trend support, or that channel support here, and it's been straight down. It retested there and failed, and I've been talking about this one for a while in the videos. I shorted it a long time ago, or I bought puts a long time ago. The other one I traded was the EWZ Brazil. I shorted that one there, and it tried to retest there, and that was the retest fail right there. And this one is just straight down too. And then we look at India too. India has got the same kind of story. It's got a breakdown about the same time frame, and it's got a channel too. It's just going down. Trying to think of the other ones. Yeah, the Australia hit the trend, the channel support. So if it takes this out, that's not good. It's not good for Asia, because Australia is the materials supplier for the East. It's a lot of commodities and materials come out of Australia. So I think it'd be interesting to check out the economic data out of Australia, see how their exports are doing, because it's all a chain. It's a chain. There's a chain effect, you know. So this is a good one to watch too. The farthest support is down to 2158. 2158. So it's almost there. And looks pretty bearish. There could be a bull trap there. And it's just been trending down. Let's see if it's got like a downtrend. Well, that may not be there it is. So that's kind of the downtrend channel it's been in. So looks pretty bad if it breaks that support. But all these emerging markets are going down, so I think it's all gonna continue for a week or so. But we'll see, but they're not looking too good right now. Let's jump to some shorts. GNS, this one has a history of spikes. It spiked there, and then would sell off. It may even be a reverse splitter, like they may have done a lot of reverse splits. It just dived. It just looks like the IPO is in 22. That might not even be an IPO there. It might just be a listing. But I looked at the website. I looked at the description, and I don't think this company is super strong. I was gonna look at let's look at some more of the fundamentals on it. But one of the things I use is this upper Bollinger Band. I just put on the Bollinger Bands, standard 22, and when they get above this upper Bollinger Band, and they get weak up there, they usually follow through. So I'm thinking this is going to be a top here, and it's going to come back down. Because the Bollinger Band, it's good when you use it in conjunction with an overextended chart. So a chart that's up, 300% or something, or I mean, you could even use it on a smaller time frame, like intraday or something. But it's sort of like I use it as a second check on the percentage move too. But sometimes they just don't. It's not significant, and they just go. But a lot of times weakness, if it prints red above an upper Bollinger Band, that's the kiss of death, as this guy who's kind of my mentor would say. Kiss of death is a black or a red candle above the upper Bollinger Band. Like for the lower Bollinger Band and any other part of it, I could care less. Like I haven't found any predictive value in it, and it's just when it's for shorts. So that's one of the few like sort of moving average tools I'll use. Like the Bollinger Band's based on a moving average formula. It's very similar to moving averages with mean. So it's kind of a mean reversion, But that's what you're looking for with these shorts, is just a mean reversion. But I'm just gonna let's just look at the let's look and see what the company's up to. Genius company out of Singapore. So we don't really know what's going on. Yeah, it's in the education for entrepreneurs. It's kind of vague, and that doesn't seem really clear what that is. I mean, it says provides entrepreneur education system, business development tools, and management consultancy services to entrepreneurs and entrepreneur resorts. The company operates through education and campus curriculum. This kind of random stuff. They own entrepreneur resorts. What is that? I don't understand. I mean, sometimes if it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't make sense, and maybe that's a reason behind that. Something. Maybe that's not what they really do. It says they have 500 employees. I don't know. I've never heard of a company like that before. It's got analysts on it. It's interesting. $72 million company, and they've got 500 employees. Seems like a lot of employees for such a small company. Some of the stuff just doesn't make sense to me. 18 million in revenue for a $500 employee staff. That makes no sense. I worked at a small company that had way less than that, maybe like 100 employees or so, and they did a lot more in revenue. But I mean, it sounds like they sell like I don't even know what it doesn't make sense to me. Number one entrepreneur education group. Okay. I'm always skeptical of somebody that says that they're the number one. Like you gotta be humble when you're in business. They quote Nelson Mandela. They've got this like Entrepreneurs Institute thing. Micro degrees, events. Well, like I was saying, I put out in my tweet, there can be a lot of competition with this now with these AI tools. I mean, I can pick ChatGPT's brain and get a lot of entrepreneur curriculum. It seems like their trademarks or their IP is curriculum, if it is, but I'm just trying to read. I'm reading this stuff here. Schools of the future, more relevant curriculum. This is This is weird stuff. Like the World Economic Forum report highlights the urgent need for a more relevant curriculum to prepare students and adults for the future. The COVID-19 crisis has amplified the necessity to overhaul the system. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense, but they don't say anything about using AI. That's they should have, like the other companies I've looked at that do education. They're incorporating AI, or at least they put that on the website. But I don't see any mention of AI here. So it says they have 736,000 students, but they have only 18 million in revenue. Whew. Yeah, well, I think so. The fundamentals are looking. Let's just look at the balance sheet. There's no recent quarterly on here. Oh man. For the year end 2022, they had 24,000 in current assets against 24 million against 77 million in total assets. So that's a really bad short-term balance sheet. Total debt increased from 3 million to 25 million in the second half of 22. It's a lot of debt added. Yeah, I mean, to me, the technicals alone are good enough to put a good short on here. Like just what I was saying, based on the history. A lot of times these stocks that have a history of spiking up, they just sell off, and it's pretty consistent. I mean, look at this here. Like this volume came out of nowhere. Very similar to last time. So I mean, I could be wrong on the timing here. It may because look, you see back in 23, back in the first part of the year, it ran for about a month. It went from 29 cents to $7. So, see, I'm cautiously bearish Because we'll see what it can put up, but I mean the chart setup is a short on a breakdown. It may get funny though, just based on what it's done in the past, but I think it's going to be lower in the next month for sure, or 2 months for sure. I mean, I think it's just gonna fade out like it did in the past. Getty, I was talking about Getty a lot. I guess in hindsight, I should have probably just bought the puts, but it's coming back up there, so it fell off after earnings, and so there may still be a good entry for puts. So I think it might come up another day or just sell off, or it might just sell off tomorrow. But the earnings reaction didn't looks pretty bad unless it reclaims like around $5 or so, or $4.80 or so. This RGTI is just volatile. Came down again. Sure is volatile, but I'm kind of looking at more of a long term. I've still got some calls, like a couple months out. GKS, I bought some puts on this one because the solar industry has been really weak, so I expect it's going to carry over in this one too. And they had earnings, I'm pretty sure, even though it's not here, but they had earnings yesterday. Let's double check that. Yeah, they had earnings. I think they were bad. I can't remember. Let's see. It's kind of giving a breakdown and everything. I don't see the so the shipments increased. I don't know, there's a lot going on in that. But I got the puts on that one, and I got puts on Siri too. Because the way Siri's acting, I think it's gonna sell off too. It looks like just took out some support. It's gonna, because I don't think they had the fundamentals to really support, $5-6 stock. PTON, still got puts on this one. I think I was saying this one was a short back a long time ago. I think I shorted it in the beginning of August, but this one's still good. It just it looks like it bearish engulfed. It just tried to bounce there, and it's not holding. So I've got some high hopes that this one's going to go a lot lower. It's got support at 662. So I'm hoping it goes to 662. Because it's just, the technicals are really bad. Just failed to break out there. And then it's just breaking down. RAD. Wow, did that one go down even more after hours? I've got puts on RAD still. Nice. This is great. I still got my puts on RAD. It's looks like it closed at 189. Oh wait, no, yeah, shoot, that's great. What kind of spike there? But I've got my puts on this one still too. That was the supernova setup. You can see here. See, there's the red candle above the upper Bollinger Band. See that day there is the red candle above the upper Bollinger Band. So I'm not BSing. Obviously, this stuff happens a lot, and it didn't have much of a run. Like because some of these squeezes have been running, for weeks, but so maybe that kind of paves the way for the GNS. Maybe the GNS will not be able to squeeze as much too. Because I think there are a lot of people short GNS. It's a nice breakdown. Could bounce though. I kind of took a gamble and just decided to hold through tonight. But I'm definitely looking to close this out because could get a bounce. They're probably desperate. Somebody might buy them. They could get bought out by CVS or somebody. So, but right now it's just a short. This is probably one of my better ones right now, as far as my the Peloton and this one have been really good. And it's nice because my longs have been going well too. Like I've had some longs work out, even though the NRDY was pretty stubborn, but I got these shorts on the major indices, so that's good too. Because I think the markets are gonna keep coming down, for now at least. Oh yeah, there's the Ally. Yeah, I was talking about Allies. The Ally's a good short if you're bearish on auto loans. It's one of the largest auto loan companies in the world. It actually tested trend support today. See that line there? It tested. It sure looks angry, like it's gonna break it. That gap down was pretty strong. But it looks like it gapped down there and tested and held. But yeah, if you look there, it actually gapped down the day it hit the trend line there too. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm not trying to short this one now, but I'm just watching it. Because it's a play. If the economy does slow down, that's a good one. So we looked at all the shorts I wanted to look at. Yeah, the APCX was another one. Kind of went supernova, but it's doing some weird stuff for it's not a good one right now to short, because it's blowing out shorts, or somebody there just came up. But I'm watching that too. The SSTK, this one's like it's kind of like the Getty GETY. I have a feeling this one's just gonna pop down, gonna break down. I'm not sure if I have puts on that one right now, but that's a good short watch. I think that level was 42 and change, 42s. let's say 42.24. So if it breaks below that, that's a good short. But they had puts though, so I would do the puts. That's what I'm gonna do if I trade it. Let's look at see if I got any more longs. I don't think I talked about the GLDD. This one's doing nice. It's another clear flag, and it held trend support too. This one's a good one on a breakout. Still got the momentum. Even as the market, it's actually been going up as the market's been going down. So we can look at some energy stocks that I was looking at. Looks like we're getting out at 45 minutes now, so I'll wrap it up soon. Yeah, this energy is not doing well with. Seems like the energy came back to correlated with the market. See, even oil starting to correct. So I may take some losses on these energy calls because I got the AMPI and EGY. And this kind of looks like a flag. It looks like a flag right here. But I don't care if I lose the premium on those because I got these other things that are working. But the UNG still has a chance of holding trend. It's that fake out was pretty bad there, right there, but it's still uptrending on the longer term. I think that's about all I wanted to look at. Those are some of the major things I was thinking about. Like I'm just thinking about the emerging markets and the other stock exchanges, how they're correcting along with the United States. And I've been trying to find all the major countries that have really liquid and big economies and stock exchanges, like we talked about Brazil, we talked about China, Australia, how the East relies on Australia, and commodities are a big deal. That kind of makes me think about copper, and we can look at junk bonds too. Let's look at the junk bonds. So copper hasn't really been correlated with indices. So junk bonds, you can do HYG or JNK. Like the HYG is pretty good. So it's been kind of going nowhere, but it's still in an uptrend. Even on the long term, it's in an uptrend. And now that I look at it again, I think it's better just to call it a channel. It's just like an uptrending channel. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for junk bonds, being like a leading indicator of the overall market. And in the past, they've been very risk on vehicle, and sometimes they they would lead the market. So like I think a lot of people are watching the yields and stuff. So this is a good one to watch too. But right now it's not doing anything. But we'll just see how it plays out here. With this channel. That's a good one to watch for the future. There could be some indication on the markets. So it looks like some of the longs had just pullbacks. Like this MLSS is like a pullback. And I think that's about all. That's pretty much it for what I want to talk about for stocks and the markets. I'm going to look through some more countries and see if they're doing some other stuff. Like Vietnam has been pretty strong relative to Asia and even the United States. Vietnam, I was talking about that one a long time ago. It's a really strong economy. Really good growth in the economy. So that's one that's continuing to uptrend. But at some point, I think the VNM is gonna follow suit with the other Asian markets. But so far, it just likes to go up. It just flags and goes up. It's almost like I think it's probably even a better return than the United States this year. But it's a good economy for the long term, and very resilient. So I'll wrap it up there, and I'll catch you some other time on another video.